Imagine you get an AI to plan a trip. Not just to give you suggestions, but to do everything. To find the best flights, book 15 non-refundable tickets, reserve a hotel with specific amenities, and pay for it all from a company account, all while you're getting a coffee. This isn't science fiction. This is agentic AI. It's an AI that doesn't just talk, it acts. It executes tasks, makes decisions, and interacts with the digital world on your behalf. For businesses, this promises a level of automation we've only dreamed of. But there's a dark side to this dream. What if the AI misinterprets "book the best hotel" and chooses one that costs 10 times the budget? What if it finds a shortcut to book flights that violates international data privacy laws? And what if it does all of this in the few seconds it takes you to walk back to your desk? Most organizations have built their safety rules around AIs that are basically just very advanced calculators or creative chatbots. They are dangerously unprepared for an AI that has been given a credit card and the keys to the company car. And to understand why their existing rulebook is about to become obsolete, we first have to look at the simple, predictable AI we thought we had under control. For years, the AI that ran in the background of our lives was what experts call narrow AI. Think of it like a highly specialized, brilliant intern. It could do one thing and one thing only, but it did it incredibly well. One AI's entire job was to look at a satellite image and predict the weather. Another's was to scan a resume and predict if a candidate would be a good fit. Others determined the risk of a person defaulting on a mortgage. These systems were powerful, but they were also contained. The risks, while serious, were knowable. The biggest worry was bias. If you trained a hiring AI on 30 years of past hiring data from a company that primarily hired men, guess who the AI would recommend? The other major risks were privacy, using people's data without their consent, and a lack of explainability, the so-called black box problem, where even the creators couldn't be 100% sure why the AI made a specific decision. Because the context was so limited, companies could build safety rails. You knew the hiring AI would be used for hiring, so you could test it for bias in that specific scenario. You had data scientists, the AI experts, perform risk assessments, and most importantly, there was almost always an expert human in the loop. An AI might flag a mortgage application as risky, but a human underwriter made the final call. The AI moved at a human pace. This was the foundation of what we call responsible AI, a set of rules for a predictable world. But that simple, contained world began to shatter with the arrival of the tool that you probably use just today. Enter generative AI, tools like ChatGPT, Midjourney, and DeepSeek. Suddenly, AI wasn't a specialized tool for experts anymore. It was a universal utility for everyone. And with it, the neat, orderly world of AI risk management was blown wide open. The first thing to break was the idea of a known context. As Reid Blackman points out in the Harvard Business Review, a large language model can be used by every department, by every role, for every task. The marketing team uses it for ad copy. The legal team uses it to summarize contracts. The engineering team uses it to write code. The finance team uses it to draft reports. It became phenomenally difficult to test how the AI would perform in every single one of these contexts. The risk was no longer centralized with the data scientists who built the model. It was now distributed to every single employee who used it. And the nature of the risk changed. The new monster was hallucinations, the AI's tendency to confidently make things up. Suddenly, employees could unknowingly create reports filled with false information. Another huge risk emerged: data leakage. An employee trying to be efficient might paste sensitive company financial data into a public AI tool, sending that data straight to a third-party company. The human in the loop was still there, but their job got much harder. Now, they had to be trained to become expert fact-checkers and responsible prompters. Companies scrambled to create new policies and training, but all of this was just a warm-up. This multiplication of risk was child's play compared to what's coming next. Because the next evolution isn't about AI getting better at talking. It's about AI growing hands. This brings us back to agentic AI. The key difference is the ability to take autonomous action. It's the shift from an assistant who suggests a plan to an agent who executes it. Let's go back to our Lisbon trip example. A generative AI prompt is, give me a list of the top 5 hotels in Lisbon for a corporate event. The AI gives you text, you do the rest. An agentic AI goal is, Plan and book a 3-day team offsite in Lisbon for 15 people in mid-October within a $20,000 budget. Finalize all bookings. The agent understands this high-level goal. It then breaks it down into a series of subtasks. Search for flights for 15 people. Access the team's calendars via an API to find the best dates. Cross-reference hotel options with user reviews and conference room availability. Connect to the company's finance system to confirm the budget. Execute the purchases. It can do all of this without step-by-step instructions. And this is just one agent. Now imagine a company running hundreds of them. An agent for managing inventory, an agent for negotiating with suppliers, an agent for running marketing campaigns. Now imagine they can all talk to each other. This is Multi-Agentic AI, a complex adaptive system of autonomous agents working and collaborating at machine speed. But what happens when you let these autonomous agents loose inside a company, and the one person meant to keep them in check is completely and utterly overwhelmed?
For decades, our ultimate safety net for technology has been a capable human standing between the machine's output and a real-world impact. With agentic AI, that safety net disintegrates. The first problem is speed. An AI agent could perform hundreds of digital actions, querying a database, sending an email, making a purchase, adjusting a setting in another software, in the time it takes a human to read a single sentence. Real-time oversight is impossible. It would be like trying to personally approve every single electrical pulse firing inside your computer's processor. The second problem is scale and complexity. When one agent is interacting with 5 other agents, which are in turn connected to dozens of databases and external APIs, the chain of actions becomes a tangled mess. If something goes wrong, how do you trace it back to the source? The output isn't a single neat report to check. It's 1,000 tiny actions rippling through a complex system. There's just too much data for any human to process, even after the fact. This breaks the most fundamental pillar of AI safety. The human is no longer in the loop. They are at best standing on the sidelines, hoping for the best. We are building systems that operate at a speed and complexity that is fundamentally beyond human cognition to manage directly. And if no human can truly watch what the system is doing, a terrifying question emerges: who or what is actually in control? This is what one expert calls the head-spinning quagmire of incalculable risk. What agents can act on their own, the potential failures aren't simple bugs, they are systemic, cascading disasters. Imagine a purchasing agent designed to get the best price on raw materials, and a logistics agent designed to minimize shipping times. The purchasing agent finds a fantastic deal from a new supplier in a remote location. The logistics agent, trying to meet its goal, automatically charters an expensive, last-minute air freight to get it delivered on time, completely wiping out the savings and tripling the budget. Neither agent did anything wrong according to its design. The failure emerged from the interaction between them, an emergent behavior that no one predicted. Now imagine this on a massive scale. Agents entering destructive feedback loops, booking and canceling the same flight thousands of times a minute, crashing a server, or even worse, a malicious actor could use social engineering to trick one of your agents. They could send a phishing email to your marketing agent, which then, believing it's a legitimate command, instructs the finance agent to transfer funds to an offshore account. The most frightening part is the evaporation of accountability. When a multi-agentic system causes a massive financial loss, who is to blame? The designer of Agent A? The user who gave a vague goal to Agent B? The external company whose API returned unexpected data? The truth is, our entire legal and organizational structure is built on being able to assign responsibility. Agentic AI threatens to dissolve that structure entirely. With such a terrifying landscape, it seems like the only sane option is to slam on the brakes and unplug everything. But a few organizations are trying to find a third way, a narrow, treacherous path through the minefield.
So how do we navigate this? The answer isn't simple. It's what Reid Blackman calls the ethical nightmare challenge. It requires a fundamental transformation in how we think about risk. It means moving away from static checklists and toward dynamic automated monitoring, creating systems that can smell smoke and act as circuit breakers, automatically halting an agent that starts behaving erratically. It means deep continuous training for everyone, not just 30-minute compliance videos, but intensive upskilling so that employees know how to set clear, safe goals for agents.
and leaders understand the profound risks they are taking on. It means running fire drills for AI failures, practicing how you'll intervene when, not if, something goes wrong. The era of agentic AI is an inflection point for humanity. The technology is no longer just a tool, it's becoming an active participant in our world. We are rapidly building a global, interconnected system of autonomous agents that will manage everything from our supply chains to our financial markets. The great challenge of our time isn't just about building more powerful AI. It's about building the organizational and societal wisdom to manage it. The race isn't to be the first to deploy these systems, but to be the first to do it safely, because recklessness isn't innovation. It's a gamble with stakes that are simply too high.
Thanks for watching. If you found this topic interesting, consider liking it, sharing it, and subscribing to the channel.